Welcome back to the Soundflick Podcast. This is one of your co-hosts, Skywalker Mike, and we have a very lengthy episode. There's a few movies that we're going to cover. But before we get into all that, I'd like to introduce you to my castmates. Is that what they call them? Like castmates or like
I thought we decided a long time ago we're co-stars.
co-casters?
No, co-stars.
Co-stars. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah, co-stars.
We're
I don't know why I
co-stars.
always forget that.
It's all right. It works.
It's too many episodes ago.
Cool. Yeah. 67 ago. But who's counting?
Right.
Us.
You are. I mean, how many left until 100? Yeah. he doesn't
Anyways.
know.
He wasn't ready for the math,
I
right?
looked at my third eye like, tell me the answer.
But yeah.
33, by the way.
In this episode, we will be talking about a few movies that we've seen. Some good, some really bad. And in that range, just in between. And then we are also going to get into a quick Oscar winner highlight.
Yeah, sounds
So-
about right.
So yeah, other than that, I think we should actually just dive into the Oscars.
By the way, this is Norik. That's cool.
yeah.
Hi, guys.
I
My
think
name is
you
A
guys introduce
Sincere.
yourself.
No, we kind of just talked. Hi, guys. My name is
Yeah,
A
you gotta
Sincere.
skip that
Man, I
part.
think they know us already.
Yeah, they know.
67 episodes, but
It's like a movie. This is like Soundflick movie part 67. So
I like
yeah.
that.
Okay.
It reminds me of like whenever you hear like old throwback songs, the rapper has to like say their name before they start rapping.
FABOLOUS.
Yes. It's 50 Cent. Like, he had to
It's
do the
like,
whole
damn, I
G.
didn't know that was gonna be a 50 Cent song.
FABOLOU. Bro, Fab's top 5. But that's for another episode.
He's
Yeah.
not top 5.
He's top 5.
But he's good. But he's not top 5.
Top 5 of what though?
Mainstream 2000s rapper? Probably.
Just top 5.
He has one of the best
no
mixtape
category.
series ever. The Soul Tapes? Come on,
The
man.
Soul Tapes are fire. But best mixtape series ever?
One of the best.
How many are in the one of the best?
I don't know. That's why I said it's for another episode. I'll make a list. I'll put together a list.
Okay.
Let's do
all
a
right.
bracket style mixtape tournament. That'd be fire.
That would be fire. We could do that.
Hosted by Gangsta Girls.
Yeah.
Manifestation, hosted by Keanu Reeves. I know he's with, I know he's,
Gangsta Girls.
I know he's with it. I know he's with it.
And Jim Carrey,
I
since
like
he was
that.
just on the Weekend album. But
Jim FM.
yeah, let's get into
Was that
the-
Weekend album even good?
It
No.
was. I liked it.
No.
I liked it.
I didn't like it.
I heard it wasn't all
It
that
reminded
great.
me of Kissland, but I like Kissland better.
Got it. I'm not a
More
big Weekend
Every,
fan
every
at all.
time,
so I was just
every
curious.
time I walk into like a really poppin' boba shop, walk into a coffee shop, walk into like a store that's like really trendy, they're
Mhm.
playing that album.
I like the last album before the one he just dropped.
Yeah, it's a shame that the album never got his full tour, but that's why he's like combining these albums for the
Yeah.
next one.
But the one that I really liked was the one he did with Galamantis. You ever heard that one? It's like an EP kind of.
Oh yeah, My Dear Melancholy.
Yeah,
My bad.
Yeah. That one's like swept under the rug. People don't really talk
No,
about
yeah,
that one.
yeah.
a good
It's
one.
Call Out Your Name. Or
I'm just not
Call Out
really
My
a
Name.
big fan of like the Weeknd's tone,
Mm.
personally. I know
Hey,
a lot of
listen-
people that give him like that Michael Jackson
Yeah,
cred, and I'm
yeah.
just like, nah, like
There's
it
this
just doesn't have that energy.
older fellow at my work, and we listen to like The Weeknd on Pandora, and it plays Michael Jackson and The Weeknd, and
That's
he's like,
crazy.
they sound like the same. Well, not same, similar. There's
There's always similarities.
I think
mean-
the old Weeknd more so, but
Even though I just don't think like the creative and the energy is really there. Like it's like I'm gonna just do this
It
Michael
is.
Jackson.
One
tone.
did way more cocaine than the other.
We don't know that for sure.
Yeah, that's true. His
The
nose
Weeknd
was
was
gone.
open about it, so
His
yeah,
nose was gone. You're right.
nose was gone.
Speaking of the weekend, we saw a bunch of movies this weekend. So let's
Yes, these last
jump
few
into
According to
weekends.
Norik, we saw the best and the worst movie in 1 week.
we saw
Yes.
the best movie of 2022 and the worst movie of 2022 in the same week, and I am upset and ready to pot
Yeah.
about it.
I live vicariously through my brothers because this first movie we're going to talk about, I did not watch because I watched all their
Save your money.
the non-spoiler reviews, and then I watched the spoiler
Yeah.
reviews
We'll
because
get into it.
I'm about to.
Yeah, well, let's do the Oscar winners. Like, let's get into that.
oh, okay, we can do the Oscar winners first. I'm down for that.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, it's a little dated. I know what it was already like since you're hearing this. I think 2 weeks, but
Yeah.
we still kind of wanted to get into who won. given we're a movie.
Before we jump into
podcast.
that, obviously we have to talk about it.
Oh, you want to get into that?
Who was in the right? Who was in the wrong? We can just say that, and then
Who was in the right? Who
None
was
of
in
them
the
were.
wrong?
that's correct.
I mean,
That
yeah,
is
it's-
correct. They both handled that terribly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one has a history of doing that at the award shows, and the other doesn't. One of them just kind of got fed up and was
Did
like,
you-
"Hey, man, you kind of crossed the line."
In
there."
case you guys, didn't catch what we're talking about, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on national television, and everybody thought it was scripted, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it could be scripted still.
What did the police do when they dusted Chris Rock's face?
What, Narik?
They found fresh prints.
That's a good one. Where'd you find
dead.
that? Where'd you find that joke? at?
You know, scouring through the internet.
I legit have not heard that one. So that's the first time.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Anyways,
I win.
let's just talk about how Chris
Legit,
got rocked. Okay,
Oh, thank you. No.
I got drowned out by the
Why do
soundboard.
we have that one?
I had
crazy.
to. I had to. That's
That's
an
funny.
iconic moment.
Yeah.
If it's right or wrong, it's iconic.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
We got to keep that one.
Yeah, no,
That's better than the Drax one, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that one's cool, but like the Chris Rock one is yeah, that's the new one.
That's
the new
fire.
one for sure.
I like that.
Yeah, no. But
Anyways, Chris got rocked.
yeah, he did.
And Will Smith still pulled the Oscar for Best
and
Actor.
Best-
That's the most
actor.
okay. Aside from that happening, that was probably the most like G shit that could happen at the Oscars.
Oh, that he pulls
That-
Best Actor.
He goes up, slaps Chris Rock. Technically, kind of gets away with it in the moment. In the moment, gets away with it,
Mm-hmm.
and then wins Best Actor, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but can we have an actual conversation about whether he was the best actor? Like,
Well,
we all saw King Richard.
Oh yeah. I
Yes.
mean, I loved King Richard.
I thought it was a great movie. I just
Mhm.
saw Will Smith.
I believe
Yeah. Again, we when we did
my
the
surprise movie of the year.
yeah when we did the kind of deep dive on the movie, we kind of talked about, or you kind of brought up as well, that when you have such a high tier actor, especially Will Smith, because I feel like he's that one actor you put in movies, and then you can just see that same person the whole time,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like The Rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just typecasted. So yeah, watching King Richard, all you really see is Will Smith. I do commend him though, because I did enjoy his performance in the movie. But,
Yeah, no, it was a great. I mean, yeah, you see Will Smith, but he's not. I didn't feel like he was actually being the full Will Smith that we're used to, like super comedy and.
Well, that's
I
not the
just
Will
feel like it
Smith that I'm kind of used to. I don't know. I've watched a lot of Will Smith movies. He's definitely somebody that.
guess.
But it just, out of all the roles, that wasn't the one for me.
Still hilarious that he gave up the Matrix to do Wild Wild West.
Oh yeah, that was like
Everybody brings that one up. He
That's
still got the
fine.
bag.
Yeah.
Not the Matrix back though.
I
That's
mean,
okay.
but look at where the Matrix went to. So
Yeah, that's fair.
should have been directed or should have been produced by A24. But
Yo,
we'll get to that
yes,
later.
We will get to that.
A24 sticking
So
over
Best
one.
Picture
yeah, we
is
got Best Picture.
this is interesting because this movie, I think this is the first streaming movie that has gotten Best Picture, and it's an Apple Plus streaming movie called Coda, and it is about a daughter who I believe she can hear, but her family, her mother and father are both deaf and hard of hearing. And like, it's like basically, you know, she's doing a lot of stuff with the family, but she's trying to kind of carve her own path. And it's like a drama about that intersectionality, you know, which I thought was really interesting. And I think I haven't seen the movie,
Yeah,
but
me neither.
it was definitely something that I didn't like upon hearing about it. I was just like, oh, okay, you know, that's cool. But now that it won Best Picture, I'm definitely going to go back and check it out.
and it's only on Apple.
It's gonna be very
Yeah.
interesting because it could turn into this
Apple
moving
Plus.
forward. It could turn into these movies going to specific streaming sites only or streaming services, and we might not watch them, and they could win all these awards.
Yeah.
Well, this is like the first time I feel like I want to say maybe about 2017, Netflix was like when they really started having their own original like movies that they were producing. And the question came up, are these movies going to get recognized by the Academy? And it wasn't for a little while, and now these movies are starting to get actors who are in the Academy themselves
into these movies.
So now it's starting to get recognized.
The Academy is like, damn, well, we have no choice.
Yeah, you don't have a choice anymore. Well, I think what happened was really the pandemic, because people, including the Academy, were home. They couldn't watch movies, and they were like, all right, well, what are we going to watch? And all of these streaming, if you guys have been following, we have our streaming wars. Everybody has had their own fair share of movies that have done well, that it's like, okay, we can't discriminate on whether a movie is in the theaters or not. It just, if it's good,
because at this point
good.
They can't even be in theaters. So.
Yeah, as long as it's
they
submitted.
They had to change criteria for sure.
Exactly, and this is the first time that we've kind of seen that change in criteria.
Yeah, is this
happen.
This is the first movie?
I think so.
Streaming movie. That's crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good for them.
Yeah, because I mean, some Netflix movies have won Oscars, I believe. Not for Best Picture, I think, but
not for Best Picture. Like, there's been actors in certain movies and things like that that have pulled awards.
I see what you mean.
For Best Picture, a streaming movie,
that's huge too. Best Picture,
really, really big. So
we also a lot of movies last year.
Yeah,
that were, I guess, could have been in the running for Best Picture
for sure. We had Jessica Chastain, who received Best Actress for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. I've not seen that.
Not seen that either.
But Jessica Chastain is a great actress.
Real quick before you jump to the next one, we all kind of saw this one coming, right?
What?
This next winner that we're gonna.
I didn't really see it coming, but I'm glad it came. Did you listen to the song after the movie? Mm-hmm. Like a lot?
Not a lot, but I listened to it.
Oh, who else was it? Who were the other nominees? Can you check it out real quick?
Yeah,
check that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What we're talking about right now is "No Time to Die," won Best Original Song, and that is with Billie Eilish and Phineas, which is really, really dope.
Phineas and Ferb,
like Phineas and Ferb. As some of you may recall, me and the guys, we went to go see "No Time to Die" together. It was a really, really cool movie. It was like one of our theater experiences, just kind of seeing James Bond in his last outing, and having a James Bond song already is iconic.
Right.
You had the Lady Gagas, the Madonnas, the Adeles, and then you have Billie Eilish, which is basically the new version of all of them.
Yeah. What's the next white pop star? Or
pretty much. Yeah, they were
get her to do this.
Mm-hmm. Songstress.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I want to say pop
I think
star.
The Weeknd did one, right? The Weeknd did
no, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure that he did a Bond song.
I think you're thinking of The Weeknd and Travis Scott for Tenet.
No. Look that up. Double check that. I'm pretty sure that he did like Skyfall or
no.
Well, okay. Well, Skywalker looks that up. So the other nominees for this category was Dos. I'm gonna ruin this, but it's in Spanish, which is terrible considering I speak Spanish.
Go ahead.
But from Encanto, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I don't know which song.
Is it
Dos Oruguitas?
Is it We Don't Talk About?
No, not that one. I wish so. Somehow You Do from the motion picture 4 Good Days by Diane Warren. Mm-hmm. Be Alive, Beyonce and Dixon from King Richard.
Okay.
And Down to Joy by Van Morrison.
So I haven't heard any of those songs besides No Time to Die.
Yeah.
So I understand why they pulled.
Yeah, and that's like the biggest part of the Bond intro. Like those intros are huge.
Mm-hmm.
So
they kind of talk about the movie before you even see it.
Yeah, it kind of sets the tone a little bit. Mm-hmm. And even like with the crazy animation with it, it's like a little visualizer before the movie.
I mean, and it's the last of a dying breed when it comes to like setting the stage for a movie. I think that and Star Wars are probably the only two movies that still have like an intro before the movie actually starts.
It's true. I guess, no, you're right. I was going to say Marvel with the
Nah, it's not enough.
Yeah, it's not
enough to it. But speaking of Encanto, Encanto won Best Animated Feature.
Yay!
That was kind of a given. I feel like they were going to pull that. Pixar
There wasn't too many good animations last year.
and Disney and Pixar usually picks up Best Animated Film every year. I mean, they probably their record is probably like
They should just
I
say
don't know.
best Pixar movie. of the
I'm dead.
year.
And just to
probably
give you guys
missed it
some
like 6
just to give you guys
times
some
total.
insight on what Encanto was against, which they didn't have a chance. Luca, Flea,
Another Pixar.
Yeah,
The Mitchells versus Machines.
That one was
Have you guys
okay.
seen that movie?
I saw it.
That one was
I
cool.
thought it was cool. I thought that was a really cool movie. If that would have won, I would have been like,
that would
all
have been
right.
another
That makes
Netflix
sense.
movie.
Yeah.
And then Araya and the Last Dragon.
Which is another Disney movie.
That one's a
so,
Disney, not
Mhm.
Pixar.
So it's like you're basically going against yourself. Doesn't matter who won. Three out of 6.
Well, Disney
your
wins.
chances. Disney wins, right? Let's see.
Bagel
International
Against the
feature
House.
film.
This was interesting. Jane Campion, Best Director for The Power of the Dog,
That's
Which,
a Netflix movie.
Netflix movie, and it starred Benedict Cumberbatch. And he was filming
Number of
that while also doing Multiverse of Madness, which is pretty interesting. I haven't seen the movie, but
Which didn't get really a nomination. So I guess
yeah, the movie. I think the movie was nominated for Best Picture also.
No Way Home?
No, The Power of Dog.
Oh, I thought you
I don't
said
think they're gonna count No Way Home until 2023 technically because it's still in theaters.
No Way Home just didn't.
Yeah, it didn't make it.
It just didn't make
Really?
it. Yeah.
Hmm.
It
Because
just
Power
wasn't-
of Dog came out like the same time.
Yeah, I mean they haven't nominated a Marvel they only nominate polarizing Marvel films for Best Picture. Like if there's a conversation that's there, like
Which
Black Panther
like
or
super deep.
Yeah, exactly. They're not gonna do No Way Home. No Way
So-
Home is probably gonna pull People's Choice Awards. Probably gonna pull like I don't know, probably like a VMA or something or MTV Awards,
MTV award.
Nickelodeon Award.
Bro,
They're
I've
gonna do all that.
always wanted a Moon Man or the little popcorn
A little
award thing.
blimp?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
No,
be-
that's Nickelodeon. I would love one of those too, though.
Yeah,
You're
it'd be
right.
tight. That'd be tight.
I want to get slimed.
You do?
Yeah, and bro, when you grow up watching the Nickelodeon or like the Kids Choice
I've
Awards,
never wanted that to happen.
Yeah,
I always
me
felt like it
neither.
was probably like I don't know, just gross.
the worst thing that happened to you all day. Yeah, I hope you brought a change of clothes, bro.
Well, you're supposed to. That's a
That's
given.
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
showers on site.
One thing I do want to shout out is Summer of Soul. Shout out to
Hey,
Questlove,
Questlove.
for getting Best Documentary of the Year. Summer of Soul. I watched it. It is fantastic.
Tight.
If you are a music lover, if you are a Black History lover, if you are a festival lover, if you are a lover of all things roots and Questlove, you should definitely check it out. It's really cool to see unearthed footage from 1969 and seeing a festival like go on and how people were dressed and how they were there, and it's similar to like how we have festivals now, and it's just like this is super cool that everybody gathered together. It really makes you want to be there.
Where is that? Where can you watch that?
You can watch it on Hulu and you can watch it on Disney Plus. Actually, also
I've been watching Hulu a little bit. lately.
Hulu is better than Netflix right
I
now.
started. No,
we haven't gotten to our streaming. Save it for the war.
That's too much of a hot take. But I have been watching Abbott Elementary. It's pretty comedy.
I've heard that Abbott.
I'm glad-
I
I'm
started
glad you
watching it
like
with my
it.
girlfriend because she works at an elementary school.
Oh,
She was like,
hilarious.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know
So
me
she's
and
like confirming everything that
She's
happens
like, oh
there?
yeah, this happens pretty.
yeah, me and Gnarly were talking about it because Gnarly's the one that got me into it.
Mhm.
And shout out Cap Gnarly. But
Yeah.
it's I hope I'm glad it's getting his flowers. He's got renewed for season 2 as well, so that's awesome.
Mhm.
It's hilarious.
Two more that I think are pretty important that I wanted to call out. One is Best Supporting Actress Ariana DeBose, and or it could be Dubois. I don't know.
Dubois.
Could be, but for West Side Story, and she is the first queer woman to win this award, which is a big achievement for the queer community. So
Right.
I thought that was really awesome. Samuel Jackson got an honorary Oscar presented by Denzel Washington, which was super dope.
Yeah,
super dope.
Long overdue. You know, highest grossing actor I forgot how they define it, but it's like he's the actor in the most like highest grossing movies together. It's like 27 billion or something like that for all the movies that he's been in.
Because he has so many he's done.
Yeah, but remember we looked up how many, and he's not even number one, but it's like
he's not the highest paid actor, but he be pulling in those.
It's like 100. He's like 150 movies in, something like that, which is pretty crazy. Bro. And then lastly, Dune, which pulled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Oscars.
I saw it come in.
All for technical things, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Well, it was probably the most technically sound and technically like focused movie out of anything last year.
It was like cinematography, best visual effects.
Bro, that has Hans Zimmer doing the score. There's like, of course,
Hans Zimmer got best original score, best film editing, best production design, best sound. Like
Warner Brothers hit on that one. They're like, oh,
they put a whole bunch of money into that.
We put out 40 movies in 1 year and that one hit.
Yeah, for sure. So shout out to the whole Dune cast. I mean, doing their thing.
Doing their thing.
Timothy Chalamet.
Am I right?
Oscar Isaac.
Timothy Chalamet.
It's not Chalamet?
No, Chalamet.
I'm going to say Chalamet.
It's not Charlemagne.
Not Charlemagne.
Chalamet. It sounds French, that's why. Zendaya. Who else?
Who's barely in it.
Hey, she's in it, though.
She's going to be in the second one.
Yeah. She's.
What's his name?
The setup.
Our guy Drax. Who's in it?
Drax was in it.
Dave Batista.
So was Thanos.
And so was Thanos.
Thanos was in it. Aquaman was in it.
Yeah. And
you're right.
The Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
But the older one.
The dad?
The guy from No Country for Old Men. See, we don't really know names, but we know where they're from.
You guys know. You know
exactly what we're talking. You can visualize with us.
Yeah.
I think it's Javier Bardem.
We're a visual podcast.
Oh yeah,
Javier Bardem.
We're a very visual podcast.
It was a really good cast, and like they didn't overshadow each other.
Everybody knew the assignment.
Yeah, everybody did well. So I saw it coming. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was beloved movie of last year, but
no,
it was pretty good.
I mean, it was a big movie event. It was kind of, everyone knew Dune was coming out, and
even though they're like, what is Dune?
Yeah, exactly.
What is this?
Exactly.
But the cast was just so great, you couldn't not see it. So.
And the cast didn't get the awards. It was all the production design and everything.
Obviously, like, it was watched because most of those people are in the Academy. So,
yeah.
So,
we'll see how that goes. We know what time it is. You know what time it is.
Yeah.
But all in all, the Oscars, obviously, there's a lot of talk around the incident. But I think that they had really good winners this year. I think it was very well balanced. It's good to see just a lot of streaming movies and a lot of unconventional films pulling in these awards. And excited to see what comes next year.
Slap that was heard from Philadelphia to Madagascar.
Oh, no.
Oh,
wow. Do you guys mind if we touch on the Grammys really quick?
Go ahead.
So real quick, shout out to the IE. We were in the building at the Grammys. Shout out to not me. I said the IE.
Oh.
I was living vicariously through the bros. Shout out to Nabian for being nominated for Donda.
Mm-hmm.
And then shout out to Hit Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Donda as well? Or no, it was for the Nas album.
It was for King's Disease too.
Yeah.
So
I guess he was there for both.
Yeah, technically. So really shout out to the brothers holding out for the IE.
Awesome.
Just to go through it, we'll kind of just start from the beginning, and then we can go through the other nominees if you want. But album of the year, or is that how they call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
John Batiste, We Are. Have you guys heard this album at all?
I've not heard this album, but
No.
John Batiste is a beast, and
I saw his live performance.
Yeah, well, he was also the motion capture for Soul. Like he was playing the piano, and that's what they used to capture Soul. And he did a lot of the music for Soul.
Yeah,
so
he did do a lot of music.
It's not surprising that his album did so well.
Just to give you guys some insight, who was up against Planet Her by Doja Cat. Back of My Mind, that was Chris Brown.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I didn't even know that Chris Brown dropped an album.
I think it was Chris Brown.
But he doesn't get promoted anymore because of what happened. He's kind of
Happier Than Ever, Billie Eilish. Donda, Kanye West. Sour by Olivia Rodrigo. Justice by Justin Bieber. Montero by Lil Nas X. Evermore by Taylor Swift. and then Love for Sale by Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett.
I just think that it's like unfair for Kanye to like not get best album, because every time he puts something out, you're hearing sounds that you've never heard before.
Right.
And to me, that's like, okay, if you're changing the soundscape and like making me enjoy it,
well,
that has to be best album.
He said the same thing in his documentary like countless times. Like, if I'm not winning the show, it's rigged. So
I mean, I can't argue it because it's literally, I'm hearing brand new things, and all these other albums, I'm hearing the same
making people
stuff.
sound great on top of on his own album.
Yeah, there's
which a lot of people don't do.
Not at all.
Because they don't want to
get overshadowed.
Yeah, they can't stand somebody else being better than them on their album.
And you have over like 100 different producers and features and everything like that, and you made it all sound cohesive like it's your album.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, that's just a shoo-in. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just Kanye alone has surpassed so many artists.
Imagine how much time he spent on 808s and Heartbreaks, just creating the 808s from like nothing, and then just kind of
The thing is that there are Kanye albums that can still win album of the year.
I agree.
Like if they came out today.
That are timeless. That sound like they just came out not too long ago.
Yeah.
Shout out Kanye.
For sure.
I'm so sad he's dropping out of Coachella.
Let's go through just the winners.
Yeah, let's go through. So next up, we got the pop duo group performance. Shout out to Doja Cat and SZA for "Kiss Me More." Best new artist, Olivia Rodrigo. I kind of
figured, that was gonna happen.
I was kind of hoping.
I feel like they're really trying to get her one.
Yeah,
I put her in every category. She'll get one.
I was hoping sometimes when you see the Grammys, like you know who's with the industry. You know what I mean, and like
you know who's the plant.
I mean, maybe not the plant, but it's just like they push the button on her. It's like you have unlimited resources. You have everything that you need. You're going to pull this out. All you need to do is just show up to these parties, perform these songs, and you'll be.
I was kind of hoping Baby Keem would sweep that one, but I'm not mad at it.
Nah, they're not gonna give that to him
Baby
yet.
Keem.
Yeah. Two phone Baby Keem. Record of the year, Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic.
Yeah,
it's clean sweep.
It's clean sweep.
Faux.
Best rap album, Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler the Creator.
Which kind of made me mad because like Igor should have been best album and they gave him best rap album.
Right.
And then they just gave him best rap album again. And I'm like, come on, like this is fitting, I guess.
Yeah, but they're only putting them in one category to
They're trying to put them in a little box.
And that
because they're not ready to have that discussion yet.
That's unfortunate. I feel like maybe Joe. I think J. Cole should have pulled
Grammys,
it.
I agree.
Didn't they label Virgil Abloh as a hip hop?
They call him a hip hop fashion designer, bro.
They could have just called him a fashion mogul.
Because he is a fashion mogul.
Yeah, but they're like, let's put him. He's
categorize him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they just keep trying to.
You know how they are.
Anybody who comes from hip hop, they want to just keep them there. And I know that like there's a bigger argument to that because some people are like, well, if you transcend out of hip hop, then hip hop is going to end up dying off, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I understand the point that some people have. So they're like, we need to keep labeling things hip hop regardless of how big it is, so that hip hop stays big. But I mean, that's for a later podcast, probably. That's like a deeper discussion.
Yeah.
And just to breeze through the rest, a song of the year again, Leave the Door Open. Makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense.
Reggae album of the year, Beauty in the Silence by Soulja.
I haven't heard of that, but I'm interested.
Latin pop album, Mendel by Alex Cuba.
Haven't heard of that either.
Category.
Again, pop solo performance, Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, she was gonna pull that out.
Best rap song, Jail by Kanye and Jay-Z.
I don't think that should have won.
Okay. Out of all of them.
Yeah. Like that. Like if we're gonna do best rap song, you're gonna pick Jail. But like, come on.
They would have picked Hurricane, but like they have this thing against The Weeknd.
Well, I just don't think best rap song should be anything Kanye. That's like my other thing. Like I just feel like Kanye has transcended rap.
Like, I feel like if they were gonna pick a Kanye song, it shouldn't have been Jail.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right for sure. It shouldn't have been Jail. It should have been like Praise God or something. Like,
just to show you who was up against Bath Salts, Jay-Z.
No, that category was super trash.
Do you think so?
Yes.
My Life by J. Cole, 21 Savage, Best Friend by Doja and Sweetie, and then Family Ties by Kendrick and Baby Keem. I thought Family Ties should have won.
Yes, Family Ties should have won for sure. If we're talking about best rap song, but
it's interesting because like you go through the year, and, like as a listener, you're like, you don't think, okay, they're trying to win a Grammy.
Mm-hmm.
But when artists are putting these out, they're like, all right, this one's got to be the Grammy. Like we gotta put this one out.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this one wins a Grammy. Like kind of like with Still Sonic. Like,
Yeah.
they put that song out.
Yeah, that was a
way
Grammy
long
song
ago.
though.
Yeah.
Like they knew.
Yeah,
Because Bruno,
which is
he
That's how Bruno operates.
Like,
well, that's
he
the same
operates
thing
like
with
that.
Baby Keem and Kendrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to touch base, every time Bruno Mars has been nominated, he's never lost the category he's in since 2014.
Yeah, he's good.
And he's only
He's
put out
that good.
like okay,
He
so
technically
Bruno
only
Mars,
has 3 albums.
He don't miss.
well, not only that, Bruno Mars is like probably the best percentile. Like if we were looking at this as basketball, right? His field goal percentage is through the roof.
Damn
Like,
near 100%.
Damn near 100%. And that's like, and he has minimal music. That's
Imagine
out,
the
but all of it has
assists.
been.
Imagine the assists.
There's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, well,
He
this,
don't miss.
the assists.
He don't miss.
Well, I mean, has he really assisted a lot? I feel like his biggest assist is with Anderson.
We have
There's
to look at his.
more.
We have to look at his
just-
songwriting credits.
Yeah,
That's probably the most like
It's true.
well-known one, but his songwriting credits.
That's
up to the
true.
roof.
That's true.
there's
Just
a
to
lot.
keep going, best music video was "Freedom" by John Batiste.
Okay.
Best melodic rap performance, "Hurricane" by Kanye and The Weeknd.
Which I don't get like that category, but okay.
I thought Industry Baby should have won. That would have been fire if Industry Baby won.
I think that would have been Fire of Industry Baby one too.
Music film. Shout out again, Questlove for Summer of Soul.
Hey, Grammy and an Oscar. I bet he's feeling great.
Once again, pop vocal album, Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, she was gonna pull that out.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping Doja would take that one, but
Nah, Doja needs another one. Like I feel like Planet Her came out and then she started getting big, and it wasn't like she was like big and then.
To be
Planet
honest,
Her
I didn't
came
even
out.
know that was the name of her album.
There you go. Her next one is gonna be the one if she if she knocks it out the park. Like
they're setting her up with the proper team to do that.
yeah, well, she's almost at headlining status. You know, there is a vacancy for that pop like world to get
She is
filled
pretty
by
busy.
her.
I've seen that episode of Dave.
I'm dead. Yeah.
Hopefully, Lil Dicky comes out with new music.
I thought he was gonna drop an
I don't even
album at
think
the
he
end of
has it.
Dave.
He doesn't even have an album.
He probably does, but
No, like out is what I meant.
Oh, he has one album out. That's what's annoying too. He has one album out, and there's a secret album nobody knows about called Brain.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid fire.
Dave. Hi, I'm Dave.
Okay,
Was that
almost
like
done
the EP
And
that
is
where
that
they
it?
had a
with Tim and his brain.
yeah, and it has what's the feature on there?
Has the game.
The game, yeah, which is a crazy feature to have on.
Is
EP.
that it?
Best rap performance, Family Ties by Kendrick and Baby Keem.
Nice.
Global,
I didn't watch the Grammys. Did they actually accept it? Like
This-
the Baby
No.
Baby
was
Keem
there?
accepted it.
Okay,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
there.
He was
okay,
there. Baby
that's
Keem
dope.
accepted
This is his first Grammy.
Yeah, that's dope.
Sheesh.
That's dope. Good
Global
for
music
Keem.
album, Mother Nature by Angelique Kidjo.
Did anybody get slapped at the Oscars? I mean the Grammys.
We would have heard about it.
So best rock album was Medicine at Midnight by the Foo Fighters. Take this time real quick to shout out Taylor. Rest in peace, sir. He was a drummer for the Foo Fighters. They just lost him a couple weeks ago. They were actually supposed to perform at the Grammys, and of course they had to back out for that reason. So thank you, sir, for all you've done. But just to keep moving forward, best metal performance was The Alien by Dream Theater. And musical theater album was the unofficial Bridgerton musical. A lot of people love Bridgerton, and
Now I thought that was interesting because I guess like the story around
Damn, Netflix won
Bridgerton.
one.
Yeah, well, the thing with Bridgerton is that like that musical started as like a TikTok trend, like and they were doing duets, and then like it kept growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
So it's not an actual musical that's in theater, but like it's still counted,
Interesting.
Considered
which
as a musical?
was super interesting. I was talking to my coworker about this, and she's like really into musical theater and stuff, and it's like some purists are like, well, it wasn't a theater production, so it can't win, but at the same time, it was done during the pandemic and was super inventive.
Yeah.
That it got
Criteria
accepted. You know,
changed.
yeah.
Criteria
So-
has to change. Like nothing is gonna stay the same after the pandemic, especially with all these platforms popping up. Studios moving to those platforms because they're like, well, theaters are dying out. If you're not a Marvel movie, you're not really gonna strike gold anymore. So
It's true.
and
Except
for the Grammys too. I mean,
Marvel movies.
yeah, except for Marvel movies.
Except for
Except for the
Morbius.
Marvel.
Not all
Trash.
Marvel movies.
Yeah, no.
They thought they could pick. Let's get into that now. let's get into it.
We're gonna segue. All right. Shout out to all the winners.
Shout out
Shout out
to
to Sonic.
all the winners.
Shout out to Sonic.
Oscars and Grammys.
Yeah. Either way, the rest of the we don't really talk about the rest of the.
Yeah, there's too many
Makes
winners.
sense.
But let's get into Morbius.
Trash.
So earlier
Y'all
we
can talk
were
about this.
we
I'll
were
be
talking
here.
about seeing the best and the worst movie, and this one
Was the best?
is the best. Nah,
Oh
it's the
my
worst.
It has a 17% right now on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I think it's only beating
Fantastic
Four by like 8%.
By 8%. It's at Fantastic Four is at 9%. This is at 17. And
Yeah.
then was it Eternals at 39%?
So
47.
before the movie came out, I kept seeing like people being like, "Oh, this movie's gonna be trash." Like, but for some time, everybody was really excited until in these last few weeks when people actually started talking about it. They're like, "No, it's gonna be trash," without even seeing it. But I was like, "Why did people's like minds change all of a sudden?" But supposedly there was like all these leaks coming out. Even the directors were leaking stuff. Obviously people saw premieres and
There was different edits. I heard that the premiere only showed like 48 minutes of the movie. So like trying to kind of like the thing about this movie
That's
is that they were
terrible.
trying to masquerade it as like, oh, there's an opportunity for us to like further the MCU because of all of this like multiverse. Like now here's the first movie that like is in Sony's world, and it was so
was not the
poorly.
first Venom 1 and 2.
Or I would say, well, no,
Venom.
not like the first Sony Marvel movie, but the first one that's kind of like being accepted into the multiverse. Because even in Venom 2, like they shot that extra scene, after the movie was done.
And it was the director from No Way Home.
And it was the director. No, it was Andy Serkis, who has worked with Marvel. He was a director.
No, but he the post credit scene was done by the
was shot.
director.
Yes, yeah. So, John Watts.
John Watts did the post credit scene for Venom 2.
And so with Morbius, first of all, Morbius isn't a character that needed a movie in the first place.
See, I didn't think about that until I was in the movie. I was like, wait. Why are we getting
Why do we have
Morbius?
this movie in the first place?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Like while the movie was about to start.
I always knew this because I'm a big Spider-Man fan and I know which of his villains deserve a movie and which don't. And when they said Morbius, I was like, you can't have a Morbius film without Spider-Man. It's just not going to work. Like it doesn't. You can't have a Craven the Hunter movie without Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
It's just not going to work.
They're going to try.
They are going to try, and it's going to be garbage. You know, and so I knew that this was going to be trash. But then I saw the trailer over a year ago, and I was like, okay, it doesn't look like it's going to be that trash. Like, okay,
I agree. No, I agree.
No, I'm like,
I agree.
I was like, okay,
I was kind of
all right.
excited
I'm gonna give it a shot. They have Jared Leto
because that was even before Venom 2 came out.
it
Right.
was, and
So
and
this
we
is a
had
pandemic movie, right? Because it was supposed to come out early 2020.
It was. It kept getting pushed,
Got pushed back 2 years.
and it kept getting re-edited. That was like the main thing. So like people weren't set with the way that the film was, and you had in the trailer it showed Adrian Toomes played by
Michael Keaton
for as the Vulture, and it showed like newspapers with the Daily Bugle. It showed Spider-Man being called a murderer, which was after Far From Home, so we knew that that was happening. So it was all of this excitement that was around it, and this just turned into a deflated balloon.
Do you think because it got delayed twice, it got worse because they were able to work on it more?
I think it got worse because I think Sony lost its leverage. So like Sony has these characters and Marvel has to play ball because they have these characters. But the loophole is that if Marvel delays it enough, and now I'm not going to put it on Marvel delaying it, but like if the
factors.
movie gets delayed enough, it no longer is relevant. And I think that's what happened, is that there was an edit and then No Way Home came out and it was like, damn, all right, we got to like adjust this.
I mean, the same thing kind of happened with Black Widow.
Well, Black Widow was like a period piece though. Like it took place in a certain amount of time. So it was like, okay, it
But
just
the
sucked.
hype just kept dying down with each.
Oh
pushback,
yeah,
is what I meant.
as the pushback, yeah, for sure. And this one, it was like, okay, we can tell this part of the story because we hadn't seen this yet.
Yeah.
And then No Way Home came out, and it was like, damn, all right, we can't tell that part of the story anymore.
Yeah.
And then like it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then you have Multiverse of Madness that already just in its trailers tell the story better with No Way Home to Multiverse of Madness than Morbius did. Now Morbius is just out here, fish out of water.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we have this movie, but it can't advance the story because we're at this certain point. So it was trash.
Yeah, in a way, I want to say it was rushed, but I don't think it was.
It wasn't that it was rushed. No,
they just sat on it for so long and they overthought it, and all these other
that's what
properties
it
were
was.
getting the shine.
It was overthought. And yeah, seeing what No Way Home did, they're like, yo, you know what? Maybe we can re-edit it, and it'll help us.
Either way, from the jump, showing the Spider-Man and like trying to put in the things for the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield universe, like they're already contradicting themselves.
Well, the problem with the big problem with it is that like the story wasn't strong enough. Like this is a
not
film
even the villain.
that you can't have 10 plus years of Marvel films and then make this. You just can't. Like there's so many things that you can pull from to make a better movie. Why would you make like a pre-Marvel, pre-DCEU, like kind of movie like that? It's a pre-superhero. It's like the Green Hornet, you know, but like, you know, it's
Seth
one of those.
Rogen was firing that.
I mean, yeah, because, you know, I get it, but you know what I mean? And it's just like, why did you make this movie? That's what it made me feel. And like, you just had Jared Leto, who just came off of like some amazing films.
Jared Leto getting catch a break.
All this notoriety, but him in superhero films is just a no. You can't do it.
It's not him though. It's the It's always the studios for him.
Well,
if he was with Marvel,
I mean, he has
Disney,
the ability to say no.
He would succeed.
You think so?
He would succeed
because the studio puts you in the best position to succeed, and Sony was only looking out for their best interests because they're trying to keep up, just like DC did, and DC learned their lesson, but Sony hasn't yet.
Yeah,
they're still early in this whole. Well, we can go toe to toe like same time, and it's not working out. The only thing they have that's good for them is Spider-Man, but everything surrounding it without Spider-Man is kind of hard to do. Mm-hmm. Venom, they kind of did it, but the one thing that I did notice, Morbius was literally the blueprint of Venom 2. Same length too. And that's what like kind of bothered me. I was like, why do I feel like I'm kind of watching Venom 2 with Morbius without all the comedy?
Well, just how quick it was.
Yeah, with how quick it was. And then at the end, somebody ended up getting powers from one of the villains. And I was like, wow, this literally feels scene for scene, like what's happening. So it's like, and that's their only blueprint.
And the dialogue was, the script was so trash.
How did Tyrese do?
Oh, Tyrese was garbage. Oh, he was so garbage. Trash. Okay, so the police officers, Tyrese played one of the police officers and like his partner. Both of them were complete garbage as far as like what was written for them. And basically what they wrote for Tyrese was just stand there and scowl. Just have a scowl the whole time, and then you have like a little one-liner. But like even some of the stuff in the trailer that like we saw Tyrese involved in, like got cut from the movie. So it wasn't even in the movie. And like I hope I know that Tyrese, like, yes, it's just Fast and Furious for Tyrese. I understand that. I hope he gets more movie gigs, but I wouldn't have took that film.
I think the criteria for any superhero movie should at least be 2 hours all the time minimum, because 90
minutes isn't enough.
It's hard. No. Especially if you're just cutting things out, you know.
You can't do a new character at 90 minutes. That's for sure.
Maybe an hour 45, but even then.
Yeah, which is what confused me, because Venom, the first one, I think was like 2 hours. And then Venom 2 was 90 minutes. And I was like, why did they do that? But I was like, you know what? We kind of already know Venom. We're just kind of getting this story with Carnage. So,
well, Sony also can't do a Marvel movie where the villain is different from the hero.
Yeah.
It's always the same, like,
Yeah.
the
And the
same,
thing
the
is,
same powers.
they're
Yeah,
not
pretty much.
doing superhero movies. These are villains.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do a villain movie and then try to put another villain against the villain.
Yeah. It's like an anti-hero type of situation, but they
Yeah.
just don't do it well, which is what I'm afraid of for Black Adam, but that's, separate studio, whatever.
It's DC. I think DC.
They may
gotta
get it.
handle
They may get it
Yeah.
right. I don't know.
I hope
But,
they do. It seems like they might.
Morbius, it was just so
Can't be as
trash.
bad as
It
bad
was
as Morbius.
so,
You know what we
so
need to add to the
trash.
soundboard? The Tyrese. What more do you want from
Yeah.
me?
Yes, we do. We need to add that for sure. Mark that down. But like it just it was just like you ever see in SpongeBob when who's the bluefish like who was always shouting?
Brother,
Yeah.
this guy
stinks.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was like.
That's fire.
And that's what I was looking at. I was just like, this is terrible. This is a terrible movie. As I was watching, I was like, this is a terrible movie. That was a terrible shot. That was a terrible line.
Dude,
Like,
some
they
of the
didn't even-
shots were bad.
Bruh, they renamed the main character, or like one of the main characters. Like his name was Lucian, and they called him Milo for the whole movie.
Yeah, because as
Huh?
a kid, Michael Morbius, he like is an orphanage, and he is in bed next to Michael Morbius because they're all like in a row. And I guess the kid that was next to Michael Morbius, like the first one died, and his name is Milo. So each kid after that was just Milo.
Because it kept dying, and they were trying to say like, oh well, he doesn't form attachments with like whoever's bedmate is because they keep dying. However, that's okay for like his narrative.
I did not like that flashback.
No, it was trash.
It was
But then
terrible.
everyone else in the movie was calling him Milo. And I'm like, why is everybody else in the movie calling him Milo?
Right,
Like
and
that's
it's
a
not his
connection between the
and
main
Michael,
character
yeah.
and him.
Yeah.
And then
It was
at
bad.
the end he was like Lucian. And I was just like, fam.
Oh
Get
no!
the hell out of here. Like,
Oh,
this is
no.
ridiculous. It was so ridiculous. The editing was trash. They should have kept it in the vault. It never should have came out. I'm mad that I saw it.
The only thing that I liked from the movie was when he first got his powers. And
Yeah, that was
on
probably the best
boat.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah, on the
I was
boat.
like, oh my God,
Yeah.
the movie just started. And it was already like 40 minutes in. I
And-
was like, okay, there's some promise. And then it just stopped.
Me personally, I'm a sucker for like a montage of like the superhero finding out like the extent of his powers. So like I liked how he like was tracking his sonar, you know, and like was throwing the ball
I did
against
not
the
like
thing
that
and like
ear CGI thing.
oh, you know.
In the movie, I was like cringing and I don't know. It just hit my body in a weird way just to think about like that.
Thank you guys for allowing me to live vicariously through you and saving me some money.
Yeah.
Save your money. They just so you know, theaters are offering half price tickets to go
Yeah,
see
I got a
movies.
notification this morning from Fandango saying, "Hey, if you use your whatever rewards card through this theater, we'll give you a discounted Morbius ticket." I was like, "Wow."
because
They really out
theaters
here.
are losing money. They're losing money putting that movie up.
Yeah. Yeah, because they paid so much
They
to
paid.
show it, and they're like, "Damn, we have to put it in so many, you know." But don't worry, they'll be saved this Friday when more movies come out.
Yeah.
Sonic.
Yeah, they'll make
2.
their money back. They
Lastly, I just want to say that the extra credit scenes were garbage. So the first
I feel like
extra
it
credit
kind of
scene-
helped it.
Guys, we don't need to keep talking about it. Narik's mad.
I'm
He
just
said a
saying,
bad
like-
word.
Like the first
It's
extra
already
credit
dead.
scene with the vulture. Like, okay.
So what was it? The Vulture from the MCU or
Yes.
Yes, it was a vulture from the MCU for the first one. And it just showed him basically like what happened in No Way Home. He ended up appearing in the jail cell.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the news picked it up and was like, a man appears in an empty jail cell known as Adrian Toombs, and then he can basically be out because there's no charges against him, kind of thing. Like that. Like
so
that's what they said.
basically, he what happened to Venom? He got like blipped.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It
To
was like
another-
they switched.
But for
basically,
some
right?
reason, Venom blipped back, and I don't think Adrian Toombs did.
So they never showed that, one. And then two, the second credit scene wasn't even Michael Keaton. Like it wasn't him. It
Just the
was a
voice.
CGI of Vulture that was poorly done, very quickly put together.
Uh-huh.
And basically him talking to Morbius saying like, hey, like, I think we could team up and like do something. But he has this whole Vulture outfit on. When he appeared in that universe as a member in jail, but he has his whole Vulture
I don't know
gear.
I wondered if
that Vulture gear was made from the Chitauri. So it doesn't. Where did this all happen? The Avengers aren't in the Sony universe.
Yeah.
What am I looking
Maybe
at
his
here?
apartment got blipped too, that universe.
Bruh,
too.
come on, fam. Come on. It was so
I couldn't find an explanation.
ridiculous. And he just met Morbius out in the middle of nowhere, like having it was so
Do you think they'll do anything with that?
trash. No, you can't do anything with it.
Why'd they put it in there?
And I feel disrespected. I'm like, come on, man. Like,
But at least we didn't have to wait to the very, very end, like the
That's
official
true.
credits.
That's
They
true.
put them before like
Before the
other
You know what's
actual
funny?
credits.
While we're all unraveling this, our engineer looks like Morbius.
Yeah.
shout out Derv.
Shout out Derbs.
But
Derbs Leto.
Jared Derbingson?
Dorbius.
Derbius.
Derbius. Oh, yeah, that works even more.
But I'm just mad that they used Michael Keaton like that. If I was Michael Keaton, I'd be like, don't ever put me in another.
No, he even did
like,
a Jimmy
movie.
Kimmel interview where he said he really doesn't even know what's going on. He doesn't know what the MCU is, and he can care less.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
at least what they're doing in the MCU, like what he did in what was the first one? Homecoming was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, but they kind of did.
He's just chasing a bag. He just got a bag. He's Batman. It doesn't matter.
that's true.
His Batman's coming back. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, well,
That's true.
we're gonna move on.
We
right,
spent too
before
much
we
time on
give
Morbius,
our-
guys.
No, that was a good amount. Let's
Talk about a really good movie. Not the best movie of the year, but this is a really good movie.
Oh, you just want to skip?
Oh.
Which
So-
one?
I-
What are you talking about?
Well, let's do.
Well, I want to hear what he thinks the best movie. Go ahead, talk. About
No, I said it's not the best movie,
it. Oh, go ahead.
but I'm just going by the list, man.
Oh,
All right, yeah. What you got? Talk to me.
Triple X.
X.
No, not Triple X. That's a different movie. I mean,
Hold on. We didn't give our ratings.
Oh, it's not worth it, bro.
Okay.
It's not worth it. That
0.5.
yeah, it doesn't go on the scorecard.
What was the 0.5 for?
Honestly, okay, if I'm gonna give it like
That one scene on the boat.
if I'm gonna give it a legitimate rating, I'll probably give it a 2. It's a 2
Okay, I'm there.
for
too.
everything that's there. Like Jared Leto, like he did a good job, but it's I can't. I'm not. It's a 2. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
He's so mad. I'm sorry.
I feel like they had more time to fix it, and they just smashed it all to pieces.
They gave up, man.
Yeah, they gave up. But yeah,
I'm
let's
sorry.
move on to
I'm
the
sorry you
next
guys had to
one.
experience this. I'm just here like, damn.
I almost threw popcorn at the screen.
I had high
close.
hopes. Well, not high, but mild.
It was
But
close.
still.
All right, what we
X.
got next?
I'm gonna start calling you
X.
Miles Morales. It's fire. It's low-key fire.
Yeah, that's good.
X. Yeah,
A24.
A24. Look, man, A24 is coming up with so many really good movies. Technically, 2 of these movies are A24 films.
Yes.
And even that teaser you shared to the group chat earlier with that little gum thing.
Oh, it's a shell. And the trailer came out this morning. I didn't even get to
I
see
didn't get
it.
to- well,
Where did
people-
the movie take place?
It was in
Texas.
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 You know what to say about dumb old Texas.
God-fearing
Oh, no.
country.
That was just another SpongeBob reference.
Wish I was back in Texas.
Those wide open skies.
So X
Wish I
wasn't.
was in Texas.
X was cool.
barbecues
because-
and pecan pies.
Oh, no.
why?
Oh yeah, she was. Oh why? I'm dead.
So X was a cool movie.
All I could do is cry.
It's nothing new in horror, but I did like it because I feel like lately a lot of horror movies have been driven by like curses or ghosts or cults, demons, slashers that are invincible. And this one was
Gotta
like,
love a good invincible slasher.
yeah, I mean, why
The
not?
hash slinging,
The dash ringing,
slash
tinging.
blinging.
So many SpongeBob
Tinging.
references. We need a SpongeBob sound.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, like I like that they kind of went back to just, I guess it kind of was a slasher film, but with a twist,
Mm.
with sex deprived old people
What a twist.
that were envious of young people just flaunting themselves away, and a lot of it had to do with religion. At the time, to be a porn star was frowned upon, and a sin. So they kind of had to keep it low key. And this movie is pretty much about a group of people trying to shoot a really cinematic porno, like the first of its kind. Like, this is gonna win awards. This is gonna get us.
Shout out to what's his name, RJ. Shout out to RJ, the director.
Because the guy who was shooting it, he didn't usually shoot pornos, but he loves shooting movies. But
we all got to start somewhere.
Yeah, and the other guy was like, "Well, look, this is your key to
good old
Hollywood."
What's his name? Wayne. That was his name. Wayne.
Yeah. So yeah, they kind of had to go to
anybody
like this
tells you that shooting a
farmhouse.
porno is your key to getting into Hollywood.
Well, back then,
go the other way.
Back then,
Hey, man.
they were pretty gullible, and any chance to shoot a movie, right? Especially if you're not paying for it. So
Shoot this sex right here.
Shoot
That'll
this
get you
sex.
awarded.
Shoot this sex here.
So they had to go pretty much do it in a low key area. Went to this old person's farmhouse.
What was the name of the porn they're putting together? The Farmer's Daughters.
Yeah, yeah.
It's disrespectful.
And Kid Cudi was the main character. In
His
the porno.
his full name in the movie was Jackson Hole.
It's ridiculous.
So shout out Kid Cudi.
This is probably like his best role.
It really is.
Done.
It is a really good Kid Cudi role.
He can't
Like
be
even
known for the role of Jackson Hole.
Well, he hasn't done anything else, so
it was better than what
Jeez.
he did in
Need for Speed.
No.
What was the one with, with
no.
Ariana?
Yeah.
Don't Look Up.
Don't Look Up. There we go.
It can't be better than him.
Yes.
Don't Look Up. Really?
Even though
Yes.
Don't Look Up is a better movie, his acting was better in this one.
Yeah, is the acting like I actually took him seriously.
Semper Fi,
Yeah, and he was an ex-marine.
Semper Fi.
He was an ex-marine in the movie.
served in Vietnam.
Yeah, once a marine, always a marine. So yeah, they pretty much went to these old people's house and shooting the movie, and so many things started going wrong. So the guy who was shooting the movie, he brought his girlfriend along to help him with
Played
sound.
by the beautiful Jenna Ortega.
Jenna Ortega.
She's on
And
fire, bro.
She wasn't supposed to be in the movie, so eventually she was like, "I want to be in the movie,"
Mm-hmm.
and
It set off this whole chain of events. Yeah.
that pretty much led to everybody's demise. I don't think I
Sounds
want to
about
spoil
right.
too much.
You don't have to worry about spoiling it.
No,
to me.
yeah.
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna
for the
watch
people
Oh yeah,
the
you're not
movie.
gonna watch it.
I'm
No.
talking about for
Yeah.
the people that haven't seen, because I think there's a little bit of a twist at the end, that I don't want to.
Was there?
I believe so, with the daughter of the pastor.
Yeah, that's not. But yeah, I see what you mean.
What,
Okay,
she
that's
was
fair.
just
That's
down
fair.
all of a sudden, or what?
Okay, so basically, the people's farmhouse that they're staying at, the wife, she was a very beautiful young lady when she was younger, and now that she's older, she doesn't feel beautiful. Her and her husband can't have sex anymore because he has a bad heart, and she feels like she's not beautiful enough, and she's have all this beautiful long hair, and that
Yeah.
like she's missing hair now, and like they're just really old, beat up people, right? And then these young kids come in, girls wearing booty shorts, crop tops, tank tops, and all that. She sees that and she's like, "Wow, that used to be me."
Mhm.
And her and the main character, the ex, her name was
Mia Goth.
yeah, Mia Goth. She invites her inside the house and kind of like talks with her, but she's comparing her to like herself when she was younger. Kind of just how she used to dress, and all these men want me, and well, my Howard, her husband, used to do all these things for me, and now we don't even touch each other. Da 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 da. That's kind of like the whole synopsis about those people, right? Fast forward into the demise of everybody. Basically, when RJ, the director of the movie, his girlfriend decided that she wanted to do a sex scene because she liked what was being done.
She liked what Kid Cudi was packing, pretty
Basically.
much.
Hilarious.
He decides to leave, so he goes to the van, which is parked a little ways
By that, it's more near the main house
than the main
where
house
they're
and the
staying.
side house that they were staying at. And then as he leaves, the old lady is right there.
Appears.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And so the thing with the movie is like, people are like, "Why are they dying so easily to these old people?" But it's like they're so naive
Mm-hmm.
that like, why would this old person?
Why would this
hurt
old
me?
couple do this to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like all of them, everything that happens
Was
is
it
pretty
like
sudden.
torture? Like
No,
torture deaths?
it was
Or just
literally
sudden.
oh,
it was
just
super
quick?
sudden deaths
Mhm.
that this movie was it kind of turned into a comedy.
Mhm.
We won't kind of jump into like everybody's deaths, but like what kind of started it off is that she looked like she was lost and she used to be a dancer, so she's kind of dancing in the driveway,
Mhm.
and then RJ gets out, man, what's wrong, and then she attempts to start like kissing him,
Mhm.
and he's like, no, like get off me.
And then immediately just has
She-
like scissors or something.
She has shears or like a
shears.
knife and just stabs him right in the neck and just
It's pretty.
goes to
It's
town.
pretty bloody. It's pretty.
that's
gruesome.
probably the most graphic death
Yeah.
scene out of the whole
out of
movie.
all of them.
Oh yeah, you get stabbed in the neck and it's like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's A24. They're like, we got to put it in somewhere.
Yeah.
This was an A24 film.
Yes.
Mhm.
Got it.
And
It's
then
shot really beautifully.
it was
Mm.
the location was really really nice. You could tell the older people were played by younger actors in old suits.
Yeah, well, the old lady was Mia Goth.
Oh, that was her also.
Yeah, she played the old lady.
That's super dope.
so
I didn't
that's
know
why
that.
when they were in the house and she was kind of like talking, the old lady was talking to Mia Goth's character. I was like, she's literally
Talk to
acting
herself.
with herself. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
That's pretty fire.
That's pretty cool.
I like that. I didn't
it
even
kind
realize
of
that.
changed my perspective on the movie. Even watching it after, I'm like, oh, okay, I give it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Credit.
But basically, everybody that's a part of the movie dies other than Mia Goth.
Mhm.
That's like the gist of it. But it's kind of expected, and there's hints of it from the very beginning of the movie, without giving away like the main plot.
She didn't kill her because she sees her. And her.
no, there's
No,
just-
there's a reason why, and it's more comical than anything. We'll talk about it after the pod because we don't want to
Mhm.
spoil the rest. But it was a really well shot movie for what it was. I thought it was really great. Me and I saw it with my parents and my brother, and we were all dying. Like it was hilarious.
I
at the
saw
end.
I saw it with friends. It was cool.
Mhm.
But if you haven't seen it, you like horror movies, go check
And you
it
like
out.
sex scenes because you young kids out here
Yeah,
and just encouraging the sex.
yeah. But
And you see Kid Cudi's butt cheeks, kind of funny too.
see more than just that.
Well, yeah, but that was obviously CGI.
Is it though?
Pause.
Why would they CGI that?
Film purposes.
Did you think he said, "Can you CGI that"?
You never know. Anyways,
Is that possible?
Narik's uncomfortable.
I just don't need to see this movie. So I-
No. We know you're not gonna see it.
Yeah.
But I give it like a 7.
Did
I gave
Kid
it-
Cudi hum?
Oh no, but she did on Kid Cudi. Am I right?
Yeah, she did.
Bazinga. I give it a 7.5.
Yeah.
You give it a 7.5?
I give it a 7.5 just because the
7.
ending. The ending made it really funny.
7.
If it didn't turn into like
good
a
movie.
relatively comical ending, it would have been like a 6.5.
Aren't most horror movies comical anyway?
This one was more comical
It's like dark
than
comedy.
yeah.
Still
Okay.
So I enjoyed it.
All right.
But one more movie before we get to the best movie of the year, and this movie was pretty. It's pretty surprisingly
This was a
good.
dope movie.
I was like,
I'm gonna need y'all to break it down for me because I didn't peep it.
So this movie, it's a noir movie. It happens at a time when there's gangsters and
Chicago gangsters and stuff.
Mobsters.
Mobsters.
Chicagians.
Chicagians. It's pretty cold. It's happening in December of Chicago,
Mhm.
and it has to do with a tailor. Well, not a tailor.
He's a cutter.
He's a cutter.
A tailor.
He doesn't like to be
because
called
I
a
ripped my
tailor.
pants.
And so the whole movie, he seems unsuspecting. He's just a guy who makes suits for mobsters and other people, and he also does like cash drops.
It was like the
or
Kingsman.
something. Sort of.
It's sort of like
I,
that.
I
like,
got
yeah.
that feel from
That's
it,
fire.
but except without the spy take.
Yeah. It was a
And-
lot darker of a film talking about like the realities of like, these mobsters were getting suits made and his spot was a mob drop off
Mhm.
pretty
Okay.
much. So they would go into the back and they would do their thing and then like leave. And he was so unassuming and so like much of a perfectionist in his craft that he wouldn't question anything that they're really
Yeah.
doing or
Right.
stuff like that. And he had a receptionist who would like help him and everything like
So
that.
was he aware of these things? And
Yeah,
just
he was
did-
aware.
Okay.
He was
He was
aware.
aware that they happened,
He
but
was-
he was really just trying
He
to
would
like
pretend like he wasn't aware.
exactly,
Just because
and-
he was so focused on his craft that he wanted to do that, and
Yeah,
it gave him enough.
His excuse is he didn't ever want to be involved.
yeah,
That's fair.
it's like it's basically playing the part of like that guy where it's like you can come in here and do your thing, just don't involve me in
He's
it.
neutral.
And like I'm gonna act like that I don't know.
Right, he's just super
what's
neutral
going
about
on.
it. Okay.
But you have all of these it's one of those movies where like it takes place in a place majority of the film.
The whole movie is
so
one place.
all of the filming is like in different rooms of like the same space. And I like that. Like that's really cool for me because it allows me to really focus on the acting of the film, because I'm not like, oh wow, like how do we get here? Like how do we get to this place? It's like a story that takes place in one night, you know, of something happening, and basically it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and he is kind of forced to get involved, and he has to use his unassuming cunningness to like figure his way out through it, or else someone dear to him may suffer the consequences.
Yeah. And the thing is, the whole movie, there's a plan that the old man has, the cutter. And, you know, the reveal at the end is like, oh, wow. Like, I mean, how did we not see this coming, you know? Pretty much just trying to create a life where he can leave and live happily, because I mean,
quietly,
because in the beginning of the movie he has like an assistant, and she always asks him, like, because he used to be a cutter in
England,
London, and France, and she's like, you could have set up your shop anywhere in the world.
You chose Chicago,
but you chose Chicago. And I don't think they said exactly why, but he did leave London because his family died in a fire in his shop, because they had an apartment above the shop. So he kind of just wanted to get away from it all. And his life before was pretty much, he was pretty much a gangster too, I believe.
Well, he didn't talk about it. He didn't really talk about like his life before. He made it seem like that he's been,
which also sets up the
life.
sequel prequel of what could possibly be.
Yeah,
possibly.
Well, it's possibly.
I could see a prequel.
A prequel would be kind of cool. Well, like, but he's just such a master of his craft. He knows the angles, he knows the stitching, he like cares about doing it. So like there's this meticulousness that he brings, and usually killers have that same, you know, meticulousness, but you don't really pick up on it.
They know where to cut.
Exactly. You don't really pick up on it. So you're just like, oh, well, this is a guy who really cares about his craft.
Right.
And he is in good graces because he ended up making a suit for like one of the lead mob dudes. So like he was there for him. And then you have Dylan O'Brien, who plays one of the mob guys. He's which was a little interesting.
At first, I was like, "Oh, why they get Dylan?"
I didn't really picture Dylan doing it, but he gave me like young John Travolta vibes.
He grew on me in the movie.
That's what it was. It was like young John Travolta vibes.
Like Grease or Saturday Night Fever.
I would say more like Saturday Night Fever.
That's fire.
Yeah. I would say, it was like that. But
like he's on the shit.
Obviously not as like good. Like he kind of played still like a young, naive type of mob dude. But he was like, you can tell like some of the shots that they got and like the way he was like looking. I was like, oh, they were trying to get the John Travolta. They were trying to get the JT.
Right.
You know? But it was really interesting with him. And then it kind of turned into like not really like a murder mystery, but like the audience knew more information than the characters did.
Obviously.
So seeing the characters come in and out, the suspense was around, are the characters going to find out what's happening? You know, and when are they going to find that out? Like,
and it with the whole scenario that was going on, it was kind of hard for them to figure out what was going on, because they were being pinned against each other. So they were kind of worrying about one another as well, other than trying to figure out what was actually going on. And with the whole, like, they were like so egotistical, you know, one of them was like, hey, I'm the leader here. But it's like, hold up, how are you the leader if my dad is the mob boss, you know, type thing. So it was a whole thing.
People vying for power, you know, that kind of thing.
The normal.
Yeah, and the cutter's just like in the middle of it. And like his assistant kind of reminds him of his daughter that he lost in the fire. So he's trying to protect her, and she's oblivious to what's going on, and he's like,
but well, she's oblivious to what he's doing, but she also has her own agenda.
Exactly. So it kind of all unfolds, and then you get this dope like twist at the end where you're like, oh,
even when she revealed what she was, I didn't believe it. I thought she was like playing along with something else, and then I was like, oh wait, She was serious.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So basically, the movie, like they're looking for a rat,
mm,
and like
Not a real
that's
rat.
like the whole thing is
not like a ratatouille.
yeah, not a ratatouille rat, but like you know,
like a raccoon too.
yeah, a raccoon
yeah,
too. And they were looking for a rat, and so people kept saying that they were the rat, and like you didn't know who to really believe because they were saying it, allowing them, and that propelled their agenda to go forward, which was super. It was super interesting. It was a movie that I didn't. I mean, I saw the poster. The poster was like kind of Marvel-esque with like all the characters and like facing different ways and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, this might be good or it might be super trash.
I thought it was gonna be a spy movie, which it kind of was
a little bit
in some ways. But I had saw the trailer before I even like right before.
I didn't watch the trailer at all.
And the only reason I went was because initially I was gonna go see Everything Everywhere all at once, but for some reason it was only in select theaters. So I was like, well, I still kind of want to go to the movies. And you said that you saw the outfit and it was good. I was like, oh, let me go check it out. So I went to go see it by myself and it turned out to be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good surprise.
I really enjoyed it.
Because I didn't really hear about the movie coming out this year.
In case you guys don't know, we all go to the movie theaters without Narik.
Oh,
disrespectful.
I went with Narik.
Yeah, we did go.
Yeah,
but
shout out Mark.
But how many times did Narik text you to remind you?
So many times. So many times. But
and we do it, and it was even funnier is that
hey, you guys hate me. I'm convinced.
We go to his neighborhood, and he lives 10 minutes away.
I just park in front of his house, and then I leave.
Shame.
He Ubers from Narik's house. I'm dead.
Messed up. Oh, if you park and then you Uber to the... Oh, I'll be so hot, bro. Disrespectful.
Hey, Narik, watch my car. I'll be back.
Hey, can I park here? But yeah, shout out Mark.
Can I stream the outfit anywhere?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
But it is a good streaming movie. Like if you don't catch it in theaters, you won't be disappointed like turning it on at home.
Most likely it's gonna like drop on Hulu and HBO Max.
I think it would definitely be on HBO Max for sure.
If it's anything like the Kingsman, because the Kingsman dropped pretty quickly, so I wouldn't be surprised.
But HBO, well, right now I've noticed a lot of movies are going to both Hulu and HBO Max because the Kingsman is on both HBO Max, Hulu. Another one just dropped on Hulu and HBO Max. Oh, also with Bradley Cooper. The Bradley Cooper movie, and Willem Dafoe is in it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I totally forgot
the name
of the movie.
but I know what you're talking about.
It's a noir movie as well. You know about it?
The Last Night in Soho or something like that.
No,
that one.
No,
different one. Either way.
Yeah.
It's not on the
Either
list.
way,
ratings.
It was pretty cool.
Ratings.
Yeah. I give it a 7.
I gave it an 8 because it was better than X.
I didn't get the peep, so I'll go by what. I'll take the average between y'all.
It probably was better than X. That's why I don't know why X got a 7.
8.
But
it was shot beautifully. It was written beautifully.
Just because it's shot beautifully, it gets a 7.5.
It was a masterpiece.
The writing wasn't bad. It was shot beautifully. It wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't like the most amazing movie ever. It was a great watch.
It was nothing new, nothing old. It
was a really great watch.
Hit well on the nail, ahead of the nail, whatever they say.
Nail on the head.
Let's see where you're going. All right.
Speaking of something on our heads, if you guys notice, if you're watching us on YouTube,
my goodness,
we got our third eye open.
The best movie of all time,
according to all three of us, actually, because I think we all agree that this is the best movie of 2022.
What a ride!
Yeah,
it was
from beginning to end.
If we're talking about theater entertainment, this was the movie to watch.
Everything.
Multiple genres were touched upon. There was comedy, there was action, there was
all at once.
Well, so here I'll let you guys kind of take lead because you guys had a different movie experience than I.
No, talk about yours.
Was it fun? How was your theater experience?
My theater was quiet. My theater was quiet.
God.
But also at the time, the showing that I went,
sounds like a nightmare.
It wasn't in the big. It wasn't in the big theater. I'm assuming you guys saw it like in the bigger RPX theater.
It was huge.
Yeah, it was a big
ours
theater.
was relative. Ours was small.
It was an IMAX with laser.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't have that one.
Yeah,
that one wasn't showing till like 11, and obviously like.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
No. The movie's
2-hour movie, and then I drive back to the IE from Irvine. So
yeah, because it was only we're from the IE. If you're not from the IE, and you're from the LA area, you're from anywhere else in the world.
OC.
It was only showing in the Orange County area. So from the IE, it's about an hour drive, a little bit more for Sincere. So right now you can only watch it there, but soon enough it will be everywhere.
I would love
Supposedly.
I
to
think
just to
it's
throw it out
hilarious
there.
that it's called Everywhere All at Once, and
But it's only
not-
shows.
Everywhere All at
It's
Once.
not showing everywhere all at once.
Yeah, it's
Everything,
not.
everywhere.
It's
all
not.
at once.
I would be
Like,
down maybe whether it's soon or like in the future to watch this movie in theaters with friends.
Yes, I think it's way better with friends, because you get to have. It's a great movie that, like, after you're like, oh, I really want to have this conversation.
Mhm.
And there's not a lot of movies like that nowadays, other than like Marvel movies. So, and recently the Batman, which people are still talking about it. Like, people are still messaging me about the Batman. So I'm like, okay, that's how I
Our
know
Batman
people-
episode is
it
doing
was
well. A lot of
received.
people are talking about that.
Yeah, it was well received. So, and this movie is just as well received, if not better, because it has nothing to do with superheroes. And
But it
it's-
is a multiverse movie.
yes,
But it's such a fresh take
yeah, it's so fresh
on the multiverse.
Well, keep in mind also, I'm not sure many people noticed, but the Russo brothers actually worked on this film as
Yep,
well.
they produced it.
Um,
I pointed that out.
So
Yeah.
the team that put this together really focused on it. Let's just get into it because it's like
Daniels.
it's a lot to unravel. But also, I want to hear again like more in detail about your guys' experience. Nareed called me after the movie was done, guys, when I was driving home, and told me exactly what happened
Yeah.
for him and Skywalker Mike.
So me and Narik's theater experience, we got the only time slot in the area, 7 p.m. at AMC, and it was in IMAX. And seats were selling quick, so we bought them. And we just thought we were gonna go see a movie.
Mhm.
And we show up, and we're like a little late, but it's cool. We still kind of get the gist
Yeah.
of what's going on. And
We got like right when the previews were like
yeah,
done,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much right when it was done. And the movie's going on, and random characters from the movie start like coming out, and the whole theater just breaks out and just cheers.
an applause.
And me and Narik just look at each other like, who is that? Is that somebody big?
See, I don't watch A24 films too often, so I thought that A24 may have had like a continuity that like, oh, these characters play other characters,
Yeah. And
so
that's
like
what I was
seeing
thinking.
them
I was
pull
like,
up.
wait. Was this is this like a fan favorite? Like, is this
Yeah.
a Twitter thing or something?
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, and throughout the movie, it happens so many times, and we're just like in awe because we're like, oh my goodness, like people really love this movie.
Yeah.
And we watched the movie, and the movie's amazing.
But
the
there were
first
things that
watch.
were happening in the movie. Like it's one of those movies where like if you have the type of like theater goers and like movie goers, you're talking to each other during the movie, but not like in a
Obnoxious way.
exactly. It's more of like, whoa, did they just do that? Like, did you
Yeah.
see what I just saw right now? Like,
Did you just see those two dildos? in that
I'm
scene?
fucking dead.
okay, it's okay. So I'm okay. First of all, because I'm sure our audience just heard that right now, was like, why am I going to watch this movie? So
Oh, yeah.
don't listen.
Yeah,
That's
'cause-
not the important part. Like, don't listen
It's
to
really
Skywalker
not.
Mike.
All
about
that's second to like
Yeah.
the core of the movie.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's not the super
That's all
important part.
surface.
I had somebody tell me they could have went without the butt plug scene, but
I mean,
Yeah.
what we're pointing out right now is not the important part of the
It's
movie.
not.
I
It's
just
just
want to
really funny.
stress that
Yes.
for everybody that's listening
That
right
is
now
very
because
true.
it's
notice
it's
Derb.
not
You got
the
Derb's
important part.
attention. Notice Derb sat up in his seat
No.
when he heard dildos and butt plug.
Yeah, it's not what you think. But the movie is so brilliantly done. The actors are amazing. The story, it's like interesting,
Michelle
confusing,
Yeoh.
all in the right ways.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
And it just brings you into it. Like you're just like, you want to know what's happening, what's gonna happen next. This is crazy. And then yes, they have a little comedy, which is, the butt plugs
The
and the
comic
dildos
relief,
and things
yes,
like
for
that.
sure.
But it's not in a cheesy like, oh, we're gonna just do this to sexualize something. It was just like, it was just so weird.
they explained why they
Yeah.
had to do that stuff, and
It's all part
was-
of the movie. It's not for like
Yeah.
no
It's not-
reason.
Yeah, there's a purpose behind it.
then even then, like in the movie, those butt plugs weren't actually butt plugs in the movie.
They were trophies.
They were trophies, yeah, for the tax IRS. So yeah, then this whole movie, again, it's one of those movies that just happens in one location.
Real quick, do you get
It's
why?
one
Do you
building.
get why the trophies were butt plugs?
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis says it. She's like, do you know how much bullshit you have to go through just to get one of these? Did you get that part?
Well, yeah, but it's because
Yeah.
the IRS be fucking everybody.
Yeah,
There you go.
Exactly, but it has to do with what she said.
So the movie was really smart and comical at the same time. Like there were there were these like it was just a commentary on things that we go through in society, and it really talked about the Asian American experience, like, and also like the Asian immigrant experience of like the generational gap, like how like certain older Asian, parents, how like the types of expectations that they have on their kids, and how the moms and the dads have those same expectations on their kids, and how they haven't been able to connect with them through the generational gaps and everything. So it had an amazing commentary on that, which we haven't seen as yet in theaters, which I truly, truly appreciate. They got wonderful actors and actresses for it. And then it just gets weird, but in the best way possible. And it was just such a fun ride. That coupled with people cheering for the movie really made it entertaining. Like, I was talking to the guy who was sitting next to me on the right. Like,
I did catch that a few times.
Yeah, like we were like chatting about how crazy this is. Like, and like people were laughing all together at the same time. It wasn't a quiet theater.
Crying at one point.
It was just such an entertaining experience. And then it got even better once the movie was over, when we found out why this was happening. And all of a sudden we see chairs being brought up to the front of the theater, and a microphone cuts on, and it says basically like the stunt team who put together the fight scenes in this film, which there are wonderful fight scenes in this film.
And they're in the movie.
Beautiful fight scenes.
And they're in the movie.
Well coordinated, yeah.
They are going to be speaking in a panel to all of us in the theater. And me and Skywalker Mike just looked at each other like
what?
Wait, did you know that this was happening? Like, we paid a regular ticket to go here, and it just happened to have some of the actors and actresses that were in the movie there, and talking about the movie. And they took Q&As from the audience, and like we got to all really experience it together. And I've had a theater experience like that, and it's always memorable. But usually I've had that theater experience expectedly. This one was so unexpected that it just made our time watching this movie like so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
Did you guys ask any questions?
No, Skywalker Mike was scared.
You were scared too. Somebody asked my question though at the end.
I asked Skywalker Mike if he had a question, and then he didn't say anything. He was like, nah. But then somebody asked a question, and he was like, oh, that was my question.
That would have been
like, what was the question? What was the question?
What's your favorite scene from the movie?
Oh, it's basic.
It is.
It was pretty basic, but that's all I could come up with.
But the guy
that's
was
why
like,
I didn't ask it.
The guy was like standing, who had the microphone, like maybe like two steps below Skywalker Mike, and he still wasn't down.
Who would have heard you?
I didn't have a question, so
yeah. But like he said, it was basic. That's why I was like, maybe I shouldn't ask that. I wish I mean, if I would have known, I would have went into the movie probably
so
okay, what
the people that were in the panel were the like people that were on screen?
Yes. Yeah. The guy with the red hair, both pretty much the two dudes with the butt plugs.
Those two dudes.
Which are the two
security
guys who did, and they talked about the martial arts in the film, and like how they were thinking about doing the fight scenes and using the props, because there's so many different props in the movie. Exactly. And they were saying that the directors, the Daniels, were very supportive over them kind of creating this on their own, and just saying like, hey, this is the scene. How do you guys want to do this? And it was just that kind of co-creation. And as creators ourselves, I mean, it's just great to hear that level is still operating like how we would operate.
I love the way A24 is producing their movies. Like, their production company
they're doing a good job. And, I know that they kind of lean a little bit more to the horror genre, so that's not typically my bag. But anything that's A24 that's not horror, I'm like, you got me. You got my money. I'm for sure going to go see that because they're doing something special over there.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, but I mean, all in all, the movie itself, like,
it's a crazy ride, and it's really hard to kind of talk about exactly what it's about, because there's so many moving parts going along with it.
So on the surface, it's just all wacky and crazy, but on a deeper level, it does have to do with the mother-daughter relationship.
I think the whole family relationship, because it's the mother-daughter,
and the
mother and her father, mother and husband, mom and dad, basically.
But the main antagonist being Jobu Tupaki, be the
You making up words, bro. She was funny, bro.
Yeah,
She was
no,
comedy.
shout out to Michelle.
yeah,
to
Michelle killed it.
She was so good in that movie, and the writing was fire. And it's just basically like it's like a multiverse. Like there's multiple versions of every character that's in the film, and they basically describe that every choice that you make creates like a different version of yourself that like made a
Right.
similar choice or like
it starts
changed
off
it
a
little bit.
branch off, like it just kind of visualize Loki that causes a branch, and the way you're able to connect, like kind of like how Venom says, like the symbiotes are all linked to the Megamind, right?
Yeah.
They're all able to do so
Someone
by
was onto something.
Mm-hmm. So there was one that was a branch who they basically the main character in that world or in that multiverse discovered how to connect with
All the
multiverses, like connect their brain to everybody.
She created
the Alphaverse.
She created an algorithm where it gives you the best probable thing to connect you with the closest variant of yourself.
Exactly.
By doing crazy wacky things or something as
Like eating chapstick or chewing a random piece of gum.
stapling your forehead.
Yeah, and
Finger
like part
cuts
of
on
the
your
journey.
hands.
Well, like part of the journey of the film is you're seeing these people do things that you're like, why are they doing this?
Yeah, at first.
And that's like what the curiosity, it's enough to kind of spark your curiosity without giving everything away. And then when you get the reveal, it's so satisfying that you're like, okay, yeah, this all makes
you
sense.
think back,
Like, this is great.
that's why he ate that
Exactly.
that chapstick
Mhm.
or, just different weird things.
And it's just awesome that they shot it really well and that there's this like level of whimsicalness to it, but like serious.
Very
it's like
fantasy like.
Yeah, like when you take fantasy seriously, it ends up great because you can have like social commentary attached to it and it be whimsical and it be fantastical, but then it be serious and not like, oh, I'm gonna make a joke of myself in this. Like, no, I'm gonna eat this chapstick, like not as a joke.
Yeah,
you know what I
this is
mean?
very serious.
And this is very serious. It's
One
great.
of the things that I got from the trailer is I really thought Jamie Lee Curtis's character, what was her name? I totally forgot her name, but I thought she was going to be the main villain.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's kind of where it, what's the word? It deceives you.
Yeah.
You go into the movie like, okay, Jamie Lee Curtis, clearly the villain, IRS is the villain to everybody. And then it goes along the way, and then we find out that the villain is really the daughter.
I didn't know if you wanted to reveal that. I mean, we were withholding information on X, but you're gonna tell them that information like on the best movie. Like,
Though I think for me the most enjoyable thing that I realized is that the dad was the kid
from
the
Indiana
Goonies,
Jones?
Indiana Jones and the Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I was just like, wow.
Supposedly he hadn't done movies for years.
Yeah.
And all the practical effects he did, like he really, like he's not a martial artist,
But he
of any
practiced
sort.
and he learned.
And he practiced
from
and
what we
learned.
heard from the stunt team that they worked with him.
Like he really wanted, like he practiced every day after, even after practicing on set, he would go home and practice even more. And I thought that was really cool to hear. Even Jamie Lee Curtis did some practical stuff.
Jamie Lee Curtis, this is probably one of my favorite roles she's ever done, bro.
You know that the flying knee, that was for real.
Off the stairs.
Oh, she really
Yes,
did
she
that?
really did that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not CGI. She
Damn.
did that in
And,
slow
like,
motion.
that's
That was
what's
a
so
really
far.
good shot too.
Mhm.
And when she's
Beautiful.
trying to tell her like, "I love you,"
And then Stephanie Hsu.
Hot dog hands.
hot dog. keep
Stephanie,
yours.
if you're
Oh,
hearing
gosh.
this, I'm in love with you. The daughter, she killed that.
Stephanie Jobu Tupaki,
Joe Tupac.
Yeah.
Joy.
No, she did that. She did that for sure.
One of
I
my
mean, it was
favorite
great.
scenes is when she came out of that elevator. She
Sick.
always had a fly ass fit on too.
Yo, low
Yeah.
key.
What
Yeah.
the initial introduction to her with the mask? Oh, that was fire.
Oh yeah. That
Super
was
fire.
cool too.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and in the theater we were like, I think when the villain first appeared, I was like, oh,
Mhm.
I know who it is, and I looked at Enrique and I said who it was, and then the reveal it wasn't a huge reveal, but I felt like it was pretty obvious. Did you not feel it was obvious?
Well, I think when you're dealing with multiverse, you either have two options. It's either one of the versions of somebody that's there, or it's someone like completely
Somebody random,
someone
yeah.
random.
That's
You know,
true.
so I was just kind of holding out for what it was going to be. I was trying to think back, like, was there someone who went into the laundromat or like somebody like who was around there, you know? Or it could have been, you know, the girlfriend instead. You know, that's what I thought also, but they didn't go that way. So
that would have been a good twist as well.
Yeah. But all in all, it was such a fantastic film. If you get a chance to watch it, highly encourage.
Yes, it
go
should
see
be,
it with your friends.
It should
go
be
see
in
it
your
with a lot
local
of people.
theater. Pretty much now. When you listen to this episode, it should be in your local theater by now. Hopefully, because it deserves to be.
Yeah, I'm taking my
Even
family.
if it's not in your local theater, it's worth the drive to wherever the theater is that's having it to go watch it.
Plan a date night, plan something with your family, plan an outing, give yourself time.
Watch
drive
it with
out there
your
and
friends.
enjoy yourself. Yes, it was a great experience.
Whatever your vice is, like enjoy that and watch the movie. Like it's great. It's worth it.
Yeah. I really love the martial arts in the movie though. Shout out to Martial Club.
Ratings?
Yes. Shout out to Martial Club. Martial Club, you guys did that.
Was that the people that were speaking?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
Ratings, what'd you guys give it?
That's 10. 10.
10?
10, bro.
10.
10.
Okay. I'm there with you guys. It's a 10.
Don't
It's
let
a
us
10.
peer pressure you.
No, because
I mean, our experience was different from your experience. It's a 10 because of the theater experience that was there
helps a
too.
lot.
so
I think if I saw it the same way you saw it, I'd give it a 9.
I'd
Because-
still give it a 10.
To me, 10s are a little bit sacred, but like this was a sacred
It is
thing
a sacred
because
moment.
of what
so
happened
just to
also.
share how my theater was, 2 people fell asleep next to me.
Oh, that's
It's a long
disrespectful.
movie.
2 people fell asleep next to me.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, I know. I got really annoyed. The seats were like, the theater was small also though. It got really hot.
Hmm.
So you just kind of got irritable towards the end.
You just didn't have a great theater experience.
Exactly. But I love the movie.
Yeah.
I brushed up on it
if you
afterwards.
have the chance to watch it in theaters, watch it in theaters. Because
Yeah.
I think once it hits streaming platforms,
It's not gonna be the same.
going to hit the same. It'll be good. It'll still be good because it's a good movie, but it will not be amazing. If you
let's rent a theater, guys.
if you love that theater experience, if you just love going to the theaters, this is a good watch.
Yeah. You won't be sorry for going to watch it. And it's a great I want to start like kind of identifying movies as like a first watch also. Like this is a great
And
first
worth-
watch movie. Like
With everybody, like
It's,
going
uh,
into it, you've never seen anything like it, even if you don't see any trailers, anything like that. Just go in with the movie experience, and it's great.
Do you guys think it's gonna win tons of awards next year?
Yes, for special effects, I think, or even martial arts choreography.
I don't know because it's not everywhere, and I think that's gonna be to its detriment.
Well, it's kind of like with the Apple TV exclusive.
Yeah, but it's different when you have to pay for it, though.
It's A24 though. A24.
But you have to pay for Apple Plus, don't you?
A24 comes out with so many movies that don't get nominated.
Well,
like that.
A24. I believe it's going to go to Apple TV because A24 has a contract with Apple TV.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because that Macbeth also went to Apple TV after the limited release. And I think that won an Oscar too.
No, it didn't win an Oscar.
It was nominated though, wasn't it?
Yes, Denzel was as best actor in Macbeth.
Macbeth.
Not the movie itself.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
and I heard that was a really good performance of him. So
yeah,
but
I gotta catch up on that.
Right now, A24 is just killing it, you know. And it's kind of going back to Marvel just kind of being the reigning champ in theaters. That I think it's nice to get something fresh, like kind of like even with the Batman, it was something fresh. It was not Marvel, even though it's still superhero based. And then this one completely not superhero based, even though it had superhero qualities to it. It's just cool. This is very, very fresh, but it also probably had something to do with the Russo brothers.
Yeah,
and Daniels.
I mean, it's great when you have a great team. You have a great movie, regardless of what it's about. Yeah, it's going to be a great movie. So, shout out to everybody involved. Shout out to Martial Club.
We should do
Thank you for
the
I'm down
experience.
Rank them. Because there's supposed to be 2 more A24 movies coming out. So,
I'll say at the end of the year. I'm down for that.
Marcel and another one called Men, which Men looks like a psychological thriller.
The red band trailer of Men showed before this movie in my theater. So
cool.
Okay, cool.
All right, awesome.
Well, thank you guys for sticking around with us. I know it's a little bit longer than usual, but we hope we covered like
it's a good length.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. We want to hear what you guys think about all these movies as well as Grammys and Oscars. If you like also how we sound, hit up our friends at Productive Culture. Go to productiveculture.com/podcast. Tell them the Soundflick Boys sent you. You want to start up your own podcast. You want to make music. You want to engineer. You want to learn how to do all this cool stuff. Hit them up. But with that being said, my name is Ace Sincere.
No, Rick, that's cool.
Skywalker Mike.
This has been Soundflick Podcast, episode 67. We will see y'all
Dessert.
soon. Bye.
Peace.